Hi, I'm Roseanne Vanella, professional divorce mediator with Advanced Mediation Solutions.
And I'm Madeline DiLeonardo, licensed professional counselor with Mind, Body, and Soul Therapy and Counseling.
Today we're going to be discussing the topic of staying together for the kids. So one thing that really stuck with me while I was going through my divorce mediation training was a quote that actually a therapist made. And the quote was that people tend to say that children are ruined by divorce, but actually it's not the divorce that damages children, it's the conflict between the parents.
That's exactly right.
Right? So I think it would be interesting to talk about observations that you make when you're in therapy with children of divorce and kind of what your feelings are on staying together for the kids.
Sure. So often we have parents that come to us for counseling and they're very concerned about breaking up or the family dynamic shifting and how this is going to impact the children. And what we see in working with both couples and with children is that if a divorce is worked through together successfully, it does not cause damage or harm to the children. In fact, if it is an unhealthy relationship or a toxic dynamic that the parents are involved in, that can impact the children very significantly, even if the parents decide to stay together. So while it is a process and it is something to need to navigate, we often see families come out on the other end of that healed and healthy in a way that's really beneficial for all parties involved.
And I think a really important point for me to make is that going through the divorce process, and especially for couples who do choose mediation over litigation, I think it becomes very healthy for the children to see their parents dealing with conflict in a constructive way.
Mm-hmm.
So many times there's this misconception when couples come to mediation, they think that they need to be best friends. And my answer is always, no, you don't have to be best friends. You need to be committed to the process and you need to be respectful with one another. Because really what it has to do with is a way of working through the process respectfully and together and really learning how to solve conflict in a respectful, civil way. And I think it's great for the kids to see that.
Exactly. And that respect piece and that communication piece around the best decision for the partners is what we see as so beneficial as well. So even from the beginning, something like discernment counseling and being able to determine if you want to stay together, if that's what's best for you and the family, or if it's best to separate and try to continue that open communication and move forward.
Do you think, Madeline, that maybe sometimes when people say it's best for them to stay together for the children, many times it's coming out of their own fears of, what is life going to look like and what's going to happen to me?
I do. And I think that from my perspective as a clinician, I know that as people move through that, that's not the case, right? And there is a lot of hope and positivity for both the parents and the children on the other side of divorce or separation.
And I think what's really important is for everybody to understand that there is so much support out there and they can reach out to professionals like yourself, like myself, and really be able to get through this.
Yeah, and use the resources.
Great, thanks.